It's on its own two wheels again. Let's get rid of this ladder. There we go, easy. I've got my bike back. Feels like it anyway. Hello everybody. Making meagre progress on the TZR, unfortunately. I do have one thing I can tick off, which is plastic weld the headlight. So that's done, I'm happy with that. And kind of half bent the instrument panel back into shape. The indicator arm needs to be bent in a different plane, and I've had some suggestions on how to do that, so we'll do that a little bit later. The thing that I want to do now is I want to get my ladder back, so I want to get the front end on the bike. This should all be done. It's all been straightened by Maidstone motor liner. The lug has been welded back on by a welder, so there should be nothing stopping me from putting the front end on. Let's go. Right, to prepare for the headstock bearings, I need to clean out both bearing faces, but there's a little bit of, you can just see under there, there's a little bit of weld that's sticking down. It's probably not going to get impede, but I'm going to take that off with a Dremel. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Done. Next, let's clean up these bearings. So a little bit of Scotch-Brite. Clean up where these bearings are going to go. And underneath. Just removing any old grease and giving it the best chance to fit in. Again, if you want to know how to do this properly, go and see Dell's video. So it's time to grease the bearings up. This is the old bearing. It's a little bit grabby, not too bad. This is the lower bearing, but that's connected to the yoke. We have to get that off, and there's a way of doing that. So we have to pack these with grease now. Okay, is that done? So I'll change the gloves, I think, and we'll get this top bearing installed. And a little bit of grease in there. And that should go in there. So to get that to go in correctly, we're going to use this race, which is the old one, and a hammer. You can hear a different noise when you're tapping it when it's gone fully home, and it's a much more solid clank to it. Let's put the top bearing on, and on he goes. Now we'll do the bottom one. Again, just get a little bit of grease around the outside. and take the old with me. Some grease in there. Okay, you can really hear the difference in the hammer sound when it's gone home. So let's get these yokes and forks apart so we can get this bottom bearing off. These haven't been done up tight, they were just put together so by Maidstone motor liner, so everything stayed in the right place. And we'll get this wheel spindle out. And the top nut off. And top yoke off. And fork leg off. And the other one off, and that's the bearing that we're going to have to get out, and it's not going to be a gentle job. So now we've got to get this bearing, which is interference fit, off the bottom here, and to do that we're going to start off by destroying this cage, which is going to allow us to get to the bearing. Now this isn't an easy or a pleasant job, so we'll just give it a go. That's on the bearing, so I'm not too worried about prying against the bearing itself. See if I can get through it with this. There you go. That's the right tool for the job. Now we expose the part of the bearing that we need to get out. Right, next we need to get this bearing off. There's probably some very clever machines that do that, but for what we're going to be doing is just using a screwdriver, trying to get in the gap, make a gap, go for a bigger screwdriver, and then just trying to prise it off this way. There you go. Brilliant. Stubborn little bugger. Everything survived reasonably well. The Dremel cut I put in here just to relieve the clamping force didn't actually go all the way through, but I think I'm saying to myself that helped. Yeah, okay. So slide this on. You can see it's gone as far as where the other one got, and this is where we have to use the old one to tap that all the way down. Crikey. This is going to take a while. That is getting close. It's getting close, and and now this is getting stuck. So I've got to be careful about this now. Got to make sure that that doesn't get stuck on above that. Oh well, crack on. I'm marginally concerned that this is likely to go back on, so I'm just going to tap this off very gently. I wonder if I should cut all the way through with the Dremel. That's probably a good idea. It sounded different. I'd say that is set. So we've got a bit of blue paper. Yep, that is set. Let me just give it a little tap round. Yep, definitely. That is set. Now I'll just pop this off. Thankful for that little gap I made in here. Just release the pressure on that slightly. There we go. So let's get this fitted. First thing to do, this top cap. Make sure the top's got grease as well. Excellent. Okay, so top cap on. That feels nice. Right, we'll worry about setting the tension on this later. What we've got to do next is see how the throw is. The only way we're going to do that is if we get the forks on and the tank on and the clip-ons on, and we can measure the distance, but obviously we need to get the front wheel on as well. That's good. Right, let's get this fork in. I'm going to do these up to torque. It's just for setting everything right. Start with. So I don't know what height they should be at until I get the top yoke on. One fork. Two forks. Now we can get the clip-ons on over the top. Sits up here. Yeah, it's completely in the way, but we can take that ladder off in a second. And just give this a little bit of tightness. That's still going to move, but at least it's not going to fall. That'll do it for that one. And then around the front here. You can see it's a little bit low because that will be lined up to there, but that's okay. Right, get this side on. That's fine. Okay, this goes forwards. And as does that. Okay, let's just do these bearings up. There's not much tightness involved in this. But now we've got the forks on. Yeah, I think that's about right. We can always adjust this later, but let's tap this guy on, and then we can think about getting the top yoke on. You can see not quite there with the height on that, These are only held on by these at the minute. I can't do the top ones up until I've got the wheel on and everything's straight. Let's do this one. Okay, let's just pop this on. This has some insane torque value, which I'm not going to get close to. I just want to, just for alignment purposes, get everything put on. That'll do. So let's snug down on that. Right, let's get the front wheel on. It's a bit of a milestone, this. So let's put some grease on the speedo drive, this wheel spacer, we need grease on it, and then plenty of grease on the axle. I'll leave that there right now. I'll get my greasy gloves off. Right, I've got to put the speedo drive in. There's an alignment mark on the speedo, which you've got to get that in that tang there. So we'll start screwing that through. This guy escaped, so let's put him back through there. Okay, that's that side. Let's do the other side. Again, not going to torque these up till we're on the ground, but but it means if you accidentally grab the front brake lever, it's not going to be a big disaster. Because if you did that with the calipers off the bike, then it would squish the pads in and you'd have to spend ages pushing them back, which is really tedious. Okay, that's done. Right, let's get this back down. Okay, it's on its own two wheels again. Let's get rid of this ladder. There we go, easy. I've got my bike back, feels like it anyway. Excellent news. I'm going to leave it there. Next time, fit the tank on and we'll start looking at some of the fiddly stuff around fitting the fairings, getting all that adjusted, fitting the instrument cage, getting that adjusted, making sure the lock stop's adjusted. And then I must remember to torque everything up before I go for a ride. But that's brilliant. Got some progress. I'm going to go back to my list and start ticking some stuff off. Okay, take care.